Hello everyone, Zane here and welcome back to my beginner's guide to crafting in Final Fantasy XIV. So congratulations, you finally hit 50. Hopefully you hit 50 by the time you're watching this video. So before we get into the endgame stuff, around level 40, you're going to be getting the full linen set at level 38. As for the accessories, you can be using the mithril gear. The earrings are going to be fang earrings, then you have the mithril choker, the wristlets, and then the rings. Once you have those, you pretty much are going to be set until level 50, because you're able to take the linen set to get to 50, because you don't really need any other gear besides that. That's how I did it. When I was crafting, I got from level 38 to 50 with just the level 38 linen set and then the mithril accessories. The rotation was pretty much going to be the same, but the thing I forgot to mention in the last couple of videos is that once you get everything to 40, from now on you want to get your Carpenter to 50, because at level 50, Carpenter gets the most important ability in your arsenal, and that is Byregots Blessing, which I'll go over in a little bit. Now, if you are leveling Weaver, you're going to be making the woolen set and then the felt set as you're leveling up Weaver. So either you can take the linen set to 50, or when you're doing Weaver, whatever you make on the woolen set, use that instead, and then take that to 50. Those are your two options, but like I said, level 38 gear and accessories is enough to get you to 50. This decision is up to you, but that's how I did it. And the rotation, again, is going to be the same. At level 40, 45, the class quests are still going to be the same. At level 40, you're still going to be making an 80 durability item. At level 45, you're going to be now passing in 3 pieces of gear, weapons, and whatnot. For Culinarian, it's kind of the opposite, because at level 45 Culinarian, you'll be passing in 1 item, and at level 50, you can be passing in 3 items. But everything else, at level 45, you'll be passing 3 items in high quality. Again, it shouldn't be too hard since you'll be using the rotation all along. That pretty much will get your high quality very easy. At level 50, your class quests are going to be, again, asking you to bring a materia enhanced item. For Culinarian, you'll be passing in 3 food items for their quest. But for everything else, you're going to be making a piece of gear, then you're going to be putting a grade 3 materia into the gear that they give you to make. So that is going to be the level 45 the level 50 quest. So now I've pretty much got what you're going to be doing for the level 40 and 45 and 50 quests. Let's talk about level 50 cross-class abilities. Alright, so like I said, at level 50 Carpenter, you get Byregots Blessing. It's a touch ability, and it increases quality. Any acquired effect ends upon use. So, when you use Byregots Blessing, the strength increases by 20% for each stacks of Inner Quiet. And it gives you a 20% bonus. The efficiency is 100 by itself, and it has a 90% success rate, but with every piece of Inner Quiet you have on you, you get 20 extra percent. It's pretty much what you're using for the end game rotation. For Blacksmith here, you have Ingenuity 2. It lowers recipe level for the next 5 steps. As you can see with number 1, it says slightly lowers. This one says lowers with more definitive description. Doesn't say how low it lowers it, but it probably say like 2-3 levels. Armor, you get piece by piece. Increases remaining progress by 33%. This is a good ability. At the beginning, when you're doing your progress bar, it will give you the most increase into your progress bar when you use it at the very first progress step. As you continue to increase your progress bar, this becomes weaker. So it's probably best to be using it at the very beginning of the progress step. I say like twice. It'd be good to use that twice, but you really don't really need it until later down the road in Heaven's Ward and Stormblood, where things get a little bit harder, and you have a lot more progress to go through. But this also can be used in crafting some of the harder Realm Reborn recipes as well. Alright, Goldsmith gets Innovation, increases control by 50% for the next 3 steps. So whatever your control is, the stat is, that's what increases it by 50. Leatherworker gets Waste Not 2. It's the same thing as Waste Not 1, but it has the effects for 8 steps, but it has a CP cost of 98. Byregots Blessing has a CP cost of 24. Ingenuity has a 32 CP cost. And Piece by Piece is 15 CP cost. And Innovation is 18. So that's what Waste Not 2 does. Weaver has Careful Synthesis 2. Has the success rate of 100 and efficiency of 120. Requires 0 CP, and it replaces Careful Synthesis 1. Alchemist gets Comfort Zone. Restores 8 CP after each step for the next 10 steps. Which means costs you 66 CP, but you will be getting back 80. So technically you'll be getting back ultimately 34 extra CP. And this will work well with Hasty Touch, because Hasty Touch requires 0. And Culinarian gets Reclaim at level 50, increases the chance of materials will not be lost after botch synthesis to 90%. 10% chance of failure, and believe me, it can still happen. And nothing can increase that success rate. Not even Steady Hand will do that. Okay? So now let's go on to gear. Now, in Stormblood, they actually put the Artisan set, which I'm wearing right now, into the Grand Company. That's the Artisan tools, the spectacles, the gown, the finger stalls, the Artisan chaucers, and the Artisan patents. So the tools and the body gear will be available to your Grand Company. That's why in the last video I stressed about making sure you get your max rank at the Grand Company, which is the 2nd Lieutenant. These are a little bit expensive, but it cuts a huge chunk out of your gear progression. Because if you don't do that, if you don't get them, you're going to be making the green gear here, which is the stuff that your guild masters are wearing. You'd be making this, and then you would have had to end up melding it to make the 1-star items here and the 2-star items here, and you have to meld those, and it's just too much of a hassle. So with Grand Company seals, you guys can get all this pretty little gear here. Now, there's many ways to get Grand Company seals. I have videos on them. You can do unsynced dungeons, you can do the Grand Company turn-ins, the expert delivery, leveling rule that gives you Grand Company seals, you can do fates, you can do the Grand Company lev quests. Squadrons can give you Grand Company seals, even though you have to really get that chemistry to get that that benefit. Also, you can use your free company buffs to increase your seals rate that you get them, and so on and so forth. So there's plenty of ways to get Grand Company seals. It's not really that hard. I really recommend that you get this set to your Grand Company. It will help immensely. Now, as for your offhands, you could be crafting them yourself. They aren't too very difficult to make. And of course, I'll show you rotation and everything for level 50. For the accessories, these are going to be coming from the Demi Materia Master Recipe books. All you need is 1 battle and 1 field craft. Trade them in at Talon and Mordona, and then you'll be able to use them. To make the moss horn earrings, the rose gold choker, you're going to be needing 10 fieldcraft diamond materials to make these. And as for the belt, you're going to need 10 too. So you're going to need 30 fieldcraft diamond materials to get these 3 items here. The militia wristlets and the aetherite rings are in your level 50 crafting log. All you need for these is gold nuggets, and gold nuggets off of these right here. These aren't too hard to make. Now, as for melds, all you'll be needing to do is put in your CP melds for your offhand and all the accessories and the belt. You can get CP material free from the Exile Beach Drives. Also, you could trade in your oak knots for grade 3s, 2s, and 1s as well. So just put grade 4 CP in all your accessories and your belt to get 346, and also the offhand. You only need a level 3 for that. As for food, you can either go with fish soup, you can also go with the Call Cannon, or you can go for the bouillabaisse, which is the highest grade CP food from a Realm Reborn. Now this set here will be able to be carried onto Heaven's Ward. You really don't need any other set but this to get into Heaven's Ward. So, as for rotation, for these, the 1 star you can use on normal clothing materials. Let me see here. I'm going to use the fish soup for CP. So I have 379. So this is with normal quality materials. So first, you're going to use Comfort Zone, Inner Quiet, Steady Hand 2, Waste Not, and then you're going to Hasty Touch until it falls off. Now, at the stats that I have, which is 379 craftsmanship and 561 control, you will not need you worry about your progress, because Careful Synthesis 2 will take care of that. Alright, refresh. Ooh, we got an excellent. So, what we're gonna do is, we're gonna do basic touch. If you don't get an excellent, then you will just continue on. I can't really use Careful Synthesis because it's gonna complete the item, so I'm gonna have to go ahead and use Hasty Touch again. And then Hasty Touch again. Alright, so now we're gonna use Master's Mend. Now we're going to do a finisher here, so Steady Hand, Great Strides, I'm going to go ahead and use that good, Ingenuity 2, and then Byregots Blessing. Now remember, Byregots Blessing has a 90% chance of succeeding, so with Steady Hand 1, it'll give you that extra 10% you need. You don't really have to waste CP on Steady Hand 2. And then you go ahead and finish it with Careful Synthesis 2. And 110 in your progress bar will be completed 100%. Now as for 2-star, which is here, it gets a little bit more, a little bit harder because of the increased difficulty of it. So I'm just going to grab some Coke here. Alright, so I'm going to use some high quality materials here. There is high quality versions of Coke, but you have to get them to like treasure maps, and your I think dungeons can also drop them as well. So again, the rotation is going to be the same. Comfort Zone, Inner Quiet, Steady Hand 2, Waste Not, and then you're going to Hasty Touch it up until it falls off. Alright, refresh. We're gonna have these tricks into trade. No, waste not. Hasty touch. Hasty touch. And hasty touch. Excellent, so let's go ahead and use the tricks of the trade. So without bouillabaisse, you're gonna have to rely on RNG to get you some goods in order to get more CP. So now, Master's Mend. Alright, we have way more CP than we needed, so we can go ahead and do another. Actually, we can do it. Basic touch. All right, now we have 8 stacks. Okay, if you get 8 stacks straight up a hasty touch all the way, you should be able to have 8. Then you can do a 9 inner quiet stacks, and then do the finisher. All right, so pretty much steady hand 2 is already up, so I don't have to refresh that. So we can just go straight into the end rotation. I'm going to ignore the good since I'm not going to need it. Great strides. Add in innovation. Now we're going to use Byregots blessing. And now we have 100% because we now have it was 8 stacks, so I got 2002 control because my control is at 526, or it was wherever. My base control was 561. No, 521. The innovation brought it up to 526. So you have enough control to get it up to get what you need, and then you just do careful synthesis 2s. And I leveled up on that. So basically that is the rotation that I use for the 1-star and 2-star recipes. Again, if you don't get any goods, whatever, you might not have enough CP. So I would recommend getting the bouillabaisse CP food and using that instead of the fish soup. Right? So pretty much that is the rotation. You can be using FFXIV to make the 1-star and 2-star recipes. So let's quickly go over to Talon and Mordona here. Alright, so here are in Mordona in front of Talon here. You want to go to Master Crafting Tomes. And here you have the books that are available. So like I said, the Demi Materia books, you require 1 Fieldcraft and 1 Battlecraft. Now, as for Mastercraft books number 1, you're going to be passing in that 2-star item that I just showed you. Carpenter needs treated spruce lumber. Armorer and blacksmith need dark steel ingots. Goldsmith needs rose gold ingots. Leatherworker needs hard hippogriff leather. Weaver needs vanilla silk. Alchemist needs formula delta. Growth formula delta concentrate. Culinary needs sauteed coral. And pretty much that's how you get the Master Recipe books number 1. Now number 2, you can be making the reinforced spruce plywood for carpenter, balanced dark steel hook for blacksmith, reinforced dark steel wire for armorer, calibrated rose gold cog for goldsmith, water hardens hippogriff strap for leatherworker, intricate silver brocade for weaver, concentrated spirits of salt for alchemist, and then the rich tomato relish for culinarian. These suckers are a pain in the ass to do in a Realm Reborn because the fact that is that the high quality you get is so low and the quality you need is so high, it's ridiculous. I highly recommend not doing these until you get into Heaven's Ward, you have better gear and you have more abilities at your arm. So you really don't need any of this right here or Master Recipe books number 1 to progress in anything. It's just, at this point, it's all glamour, and pretty much that's what it is. It's all glamour at this point. So you can either, the Master Recipe books number 1 are easy to do. The 2s are going to be a little bit harder. But again, I would recommend coming back from Heaven's Ward to do these, because you really don't need to do these at this stage of the game. Because, actually, let me go ahead and get the book so I can show you. Dark steel for armor, rose gold for goldsmith, hippogriff for leather, and that's all I have at the moment. Let's go ahead and use these. 25 for leatherworker, 16 for goldsmith, 18 for armorer, and 15 for blacksmith. These books were a little bit harder to get because you only had the guildmaster's gear at your disposal, and you had to level up, gear up with materia as well to get the results that I got. This artisan gear makes it a lot easier to do. So, as you can see, the dark steel hook, you have to make these. These are a little bit, as you can see here, the difficulty for these are 419, and the quality is 5,257. So, with high quality materials, it's pretty much, it's cut in half. They're doing it this way, but it is really, really more difficult to make these. But you would have the artisan set at your disposal in order to make this. Or if you melded your green gear, it would have the same effect as the artisan stuff. But it's the balanced dark steel hook or the balanced stuff that was the difficult part. As you can see here, you need 391 craftsmanship to make these suckers. Now, I only have 269, which means that I'm going to have to overmeld these accessories to reach that point. So that's why it's not really, that's why it's a waste to do this now, because overmelding just to get the recipe books that are just nothing for glamour is just a waste of time, money, and materia. So that's why I recommend not really doing this until you get into Heaven's Ward and then coming back. Because these suckers, you're only gonna get like 200 and something quality, and then it's basically all the rotation for these is all RNG. So I'm not really gonna cover this because it is not necessary. So to recap, level 50, you'll be getting all this gear here, and you'll be taking this into Heaven's Ward. Get the recipe books number 1. When you're done with, and then go straight into Heaven's Ward. You can use the 50 rotation I showed you, use it going into Heaven's Ward to make high quality gear. When a Realm Reborn was relevant, we were already at level cap. So when we made all the level 50 gear, the start gear, we didn't get experience for all of this. Now, because we're at level cap is level 70, all of this stuff you make here, you can get experience points for, and it is a massive amount of experience. These can all have first time bonuses. The Master Recipe books do not give you that. I don't know why they did that, but you can't do one-time bonuses with the Master Recipe books because they don't have the little check mark next to it. So guys, that's gonna be it for this this video. That's gonna be it for this series for Realm Reborn. Congratulations, you made it. This took me a lot longer than I expected, but it was a lot of fun doing this. I'm so glad I had it all. It's all done. So now I can move on to doing Heaven's Ward crafting. Now, if you do want to pursue getting the Master Recipe books too and everything, I highly recommend checking out Mithri's channel, because he does have recipes, videos on how to get all this gear, how to get the support tools, how to get the Lucius tools. Unfortunately, I don't feel like it's necessary at this point, because we can just go into Heaven's Ward. But if you want to challenge yourself, I highly recommend going over to his channel, going over all of his videos that he has for endgame crafting, past what I have told you here, and then you can do the harder stuff if you want to challenge yourself. I don't recommend it because it's unnecessary. Just go into Heaven's Ward and continue on with the story. So that's what I recommend you guys doing if you do not want to just move on into Heaven's Ward. Alright guys, so that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like on this video if you found this helpful. Any comments, questions, concerns you have, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you guys have. And also don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you're new for more Final Fantasy XIV content. And of course the continuation of this guide into Heaven's Ward. So guys, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, may you forever walk in the light of Lord Bahamut. Take care guys, and thank you so much.